It's like the greatest hits collection of missed layups. I can't even believe this is real. I just stumbled across of it. There's 2 different videos now floating around out there, and it's unbelievable.
Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you two idiots just shut up? Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
Angel Reese just detonated a bombshell in the WNBA. She went absolutely for broke, unequivocally demanding millions from the league. We're talking rookie season, barely a handful of games played, and already she's publicly talking boycott unless she gets paid. Not just a raise, not just a little more money, but millions. She wants superstar money right here, right now, now. Bold, audacious, arrogant. Pick your adjective. They all probably fit. Absolutely. Undeniably bold. But here's the real kicker, the jaw-dropping twist in this saga. Right after publicly, emphatically, and unapologetically demanding millions, she stepped onto the court and did something so utterly, spectacularly, and undeniably hilarious that it has to be seen to be believed. Prepare yourselves, folks, because this is going to be epic.
I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent.
The demand for millions wasn't some quiet behind-the-scenes negotiation. Oh no, this was a full-blown public declaration of financial war. It was a league-shaking, headline-grabbing, podcast-born ultimatum on her own show, Unapologetically Angel. She didn't just hint, she didn't just suggest, she practically yelled it directly into the microphone for all the world, and more importantly, the WNBA front office to hear. Give us what we want, meaning millions, and let's be crystal clear about that, or we're sitting out. We're talking about a rookie, still wet behind the ears in the professional league, to publicly demand millions and casually threaten a boycott if she doesn't get it. That takes a certain kind of something. Let's call it guts. Let's call it audacity. Let's even call it delusion. Whatever you call it, it's undeniably attention grabbing. For a rookie to demand millions and threaten a boycott, that takes guts, or delusion, or maybe a potent cocktail of both.
This is the same player that just came out and said, if they don't pay them the bag in the WNBA, we sitting out. Quote, we sitting out. What? I mean, after seeing her miss routine layups over and over and over again, I'm like, how the hell can this person possibly be demanding more money from anyone?
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
But let's dig deeper into the why behind this demand for millions. What's fueling this audacious financial play? Well, to understand the full picture, we need to rewind slightly to her now infamous viral rent rant. Remember that TikTok video? The one where Angel Reese, in a moment of supposed transparency, complained that her perfectly respectable WNBA salary, a salary many aspiring athletes would dream of, doesn't even cover her monthly rent. Her $8,000 monthly rent in Atlanta. Let that number sink in. Suddenly, the seemingly outlandish demand for millions starts to perhaps make a warped kind of sense. A sense rooted in a wild, financially irresponsible, and frankly, somewhat detached from reality way. It appears she genuinely believes she needs millions to properly fund that lifestyle, to maintain that level of monthly expenditure on rent alone. The problem, of course, isn't the ambition, it's the timing, the justification, and the performance. She's demanding millions before she's demonstrably proven she's actually worth it, on the court, to the league, or to the fans.
Oh, Reese, 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it!
Classic long two.
Bang!
PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away.
Bang!
What?
Bang!
I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. I say $1 million for every missed layup is fair.
Bang!
Our stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages. Remember, they're coming to see her.
Long two, butter pecan, bang!
And now we arrive at the truly hilarious part, the moment where this whole story takes a turn into the realm of sports comedy gold. The game. The game played immediately after Angel Reese publicly, boldly, and unequivocally went on record demanding millions from the WNBA. Picture the scene. Angel Reese steps onto the court, presumably feeling the weight of her own demands, theoretically motivated to justify her millions ask, and ready to showcase her supposed superstar talent to the world. And what does she deliver? Well, she hilariously, spectacularly, and almost poetically laid bricks. We're talking a shooting performance so abysmal, so fundamentally off the mark, that it transcended mere bad game territory and entered the realm of pure, unadulterated comedy. This wasn't just a night of missing shots, this was a full-blown four-quarter bricklaying clinic performed live and in person, immediately following her audacious demand for millions. The timing, the irony, the sheer comedic misfortune. It's almost Shakespearean in its tragicomic brilliance.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
Let's talk about this. This is the now infamous, internet-breaking, meme-generating on-court performance that followed her demand for millions. And this, in its purest, most distilled form, is missed layups. But not just any missed layups. Hilariously, spectacularly, almost unbelievably missed layups. Layups that somehow managed to bounce off the bottom of the backboard, defying both logic and basketball physics. This is the content that launched 1,000 memes. The footage that fueled countless sarcastic comments. And the blooper reel that will likely haunt Angel Reese's highlight reel for years to come. The internet, as it always does, exploded with the sheer comedic absurdity of it all. Montages of this, her bricklaying masterclass, went instantly, virally, uncontrollably viral, demanding millions with your words, then hilariously doing this with your game. That, my friends, is priceless internet content. That is the kind of sports irony that the internet was practically invented for.
She just threatened the lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
And now we arrive at the core of the issue, the central comparison that underscores the entire narrative. She's not Caitlin Clark. This isn't about petty rivalry or personal animosity. It's about cold, hard, undeniable facts. While Angel Reese was busy publicly demanding millions and then hilariously, ironically, and spectacularly bricking shot after shot, Caitlin Clark is, well, simply being Caitlin Clark. And being Caitlin Clark in the WNBA right now means shattering record ratings, consistently packing arenas to the rafters, and crucially delivering actual demonstrable superstar play on the court. Reese is demanding millions based on perceived potential and self-proclaimed star power. Clark is demonstrably, empirically, and undeniably earning it, game after game, record after record. The contrast isn't just stark, it's almost comical in its clarity. It's night and day. It's substance versus spectacle. It's performance versus pronouncements. It's Caitlin Clark versus, well, not Caitlin Clark.
I just hope y'all know, the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Let me do the math real quick.
He might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is my, I don't even know my salary. No, my rent is more than that. It's 8,000. I'm living beyond my means. But the women coming in, what, not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
The ones coming in this year will still be on the rookie contract again. Mm-hmm. The ones that the year after, they gonna get more, they probably gonna be making more than us.
Well, they are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings, they are.
Angel Reese publicly states she wants to be paid like a superstar. She's audaciously demanding millions. But the undeniable truth, the stark reality that's becoming increasingly clear with each game is she's not Caitlin Clark in terms of actual measurable on-court impact. Caitlin Clark is demonstrably, single-handedly elevating the WNBA's profile, bringing in new fans and generating unprecedented levels of excitement. Reese, in contrast, is demanding millions based primarily on hype, on social media following, and on a perceived marketability that at this point hasn't fully translated into tangible results or consistent on-court dominance. You demand millions in professional sports with sustained, undeniable superstar level play with consistent dominant performances, not with viral missed layups and bold pronouncements. And right now, based on current performance, based on objective metrics, based on what we're actually seeing on the court, she's not Caitlin Clark. Not even close, and that performance gap is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore, especially when juxtaposed against her million-dollar demands.
Say what you want about Angel Reese. You can't tell me she isn't the star of every show every time she's on the court. I can't even hate on this. She's Larry, Moe, and Curly all at once. The Three Stooges. I mean, wow. Come on. I think the worst part is Lisa Leslie risked her legacy and credibility coaching her with no visible improvement so far anyways. Good God. Laugh out loud. But she gets rebounds. She's threatening leagues over pay.
Expanding on this crucial comparison, she's not Caitlin Clark in terms of demonstrable, measurable impact on the WNBA as a whole. She's not Caitlin Clark in viewership numbers, in jersey sales, in game attendance figures, or in overall league buzz and excitement. Let's be blunt, Reese is currently on a rookie contract, a standard, fair, entry-level deal designed for players just starting their professional careers. But she's behaving, she's demanding, she's acting like she's already $1 million player, as if she's already reached Caitlin Clark's stratosphere of league-altering impact and undeniable marketability. The stark reality is, and the numbers unequivocally confirm it, rookie contract reality check, she's not Caitlin Clark. Yet, and perhaps realistically, never will be. And that fundamental disconnect between her perceived worth and her demonstrated impact is at the heart of this entire hilariously awkward situation.
Like, if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else.
Demanding millions while simultaneously, publicly, and rather dramatically complaining about struggling to afford an $8,000 per month rent. That's not just bad timing, it's hilariously, spectacularly, and almost unbelievably bad timing. It's a self-inflicted wound of comedic proportions. It inadvertently, and quite hilariously, highlights a fundamental budgeting fail, a glaring lack of basic financial awareness, and a rather skewed sense of financial priorities. It underscores the point that the issue might not be WNBA underpayment, but rather personal overspending. Hilariously does this. The this in this case isn't just the missed layups, it also ironically applies to her own financial logic or lack thereof. Perhaps instead of demanding millions from the WNBA, a more prudent and immediately beneficial course of action would be to invest in some serious financial literacy education, and maybe, just maybe, downsize that penthouse apartment. Maybe financial literacy is needed more urgently than millions right now.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
Let's get brutally honest about the financial realities of the WNBA. It's simply not swimming in millions to just casually hand out to every player who demands it. The WNBA, as a league and as a business, demonstrably lost millions upon millions of dollars just last season alone. It's still a developing league, still striving for consistent profitability, still heavily reliant on subsidies from the NBA, demanding millions and threatening a boycott in this financial climate. It doesn't just seem tone deaf, it actively demonstrates a profound disconnect from the fundamental financial realities of the WNBA. It's not the NBA, it's not raking in billions in revenue, it's still a league fighting for every dollar, striving for sustainable growth. She's not Caitlin Clark in understanding basic league economics either, and that lack of economic awareness only further amplifies the comedic, almost farcical nature of her $1 million demands.
Final as a club has not been a three-pointer. Grace turnaround, no good. Final third in the league in three-point field goals. Reese looks to stick with it, naps it back. Angel Reese, no.
Let's revisit the numbers, because they tell a story that's impossible to ignore. Numbers don't lie, and in this case, the viewership numbers scream from the rooftops, she's not Caitlin Clark. In terms of demonstrable viewership draw, Caitlin Clark games consistently, reliably, and predictably explode in television ratings. We're talking record-breaking viewership, game after game, consistently attracting massive audiences across broadcast platforms. Reese games, in stark contrast, consistently don't. When Reese is positioned as the primary draw, draw. When her games are the marquee matchups, the viewership numbers demonstrably plummet, often falling off a cliff compared to Clark-centric games. When Reese is the draw, numbers plummet, demanding millions based on the premise of being a major viewership draw. The objective, verifiable data unequivocally and rather brutally says she's not Caitlin Clark in that crucial, market-defining regard, and that data point is perhaps the most damning indictment of her audacious million-dollar demands.
Planet Earth, for what's supposed to be a big, I mean, what in the hell is going on here? I understand her team won. I get it. 5 of 13 from the field. 13 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, only 10 points. It's because of this, and it's because it's not to be believed.
Let's summarize the undeniable truth. Caitlin Clark is, without question, the primary, dominant, and statistically verifiable driving force behind the WNBA's current surge in popularity, visibility, and mainstream attention. She's not Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese at this stage in her career simply isn't. Empty arenas, or at best, sparsely filled seats for games where Reese is the headlining attraction. Consistently packed arenas buzzing with excitement and energy for virtually every single game featuring Caitlin Clark. Lower TV ratings, often dramatically lower when Reese is the focus. Record-breaking television viewership numbers, shattering WNBA records every single time Caitlin Clark steps onto the court. The evidence is overwhelming, the data is conclusive, the conclusion is unavoidable. It's clear. It's undeniable. It's statistically proven. Clark drives the bus. Reese is demanding $1 million chauffeur salary for a bus she's not even steering, and while still demonstrably learning the fundamental rules of driving. So as we reach the end of this saga of $1 million demands and hilariously missed layups, the fundamental question remains: will Angel Reese at some point experience a critical wake-up call? Will she finally, realistically, and honestly realize that she's not Caitlin Clark? Not in performance, not in impact, not in viewership, and certainly not in justified salary demands. Will she perhaps wisely choose to emulate Clark's proven path to success, the path of consistent hard work, demonstrable on-court excellence, and letting performance speak louder than hype? Or will she stubbornly, perhaps tragically, continue down the current path of doubling down on empty hype, increasingly ludicrous demands for millions, and hilariously, repeatedly, and publicly proving she's not Caitlin Clark, with every bricked layup, every plummeting viewership number, and every tone-deaf public pronouncement? What do you, the viewers, the fans, the basketball aficionados, truly think? Is demanding millions and then hilariously doing this on the court a sound career strategy? Is it a recipe for long-term success? Or is it perhaps a recipe for internet infamy and a cautionary tale for aspiring athletes everywhere? Let me know your brutally honest opinions in the comments section below. And while you're at it, hit that like button if you found this breakdown even remotely insightful or entertaining. Subscribe to the channel for more no-nonsense sports analysis and reality checks. And definitely ring that notification bell so you never miss another dose of sports truth. And most importantly, remember the ultimate lesson of this saga. In the world of professional sports, and perhaps in life in general, performance consistently, reliably, and undeniably speaks louder and carries far more weight than any amount of bold demands for millions or self-proclaimed superstar status. And now, if you'll excuse me, I think I need to go practice my layups, just in case.